Audio, good. Let me hear you, please.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yep. You look good.
Cool. Bring this down some. There we go. Hi, Amanda.
Hello, Amanda. Oh my gosh, I used your paints this week. They are so gorgeous. You've helped me a lot. Thank you so much. Hello, hello, hello. Iculus, you have been such a great help to us. We really appreciate all you've done. You are fantastic. City Guard of Hebron, good to see you. It's gonna be a fun night tonight, real quick. Not gonna be a long stream, and we'll raid into Jay as we always do. But I think it's one of my favorite topics, talking about Paladins. Oh my gosh. My favorite class of all time. I've played more Paladins than any other class, and I am jealous of them, that they are treated properly.
Now live audio.
Woo.
Everyone can hear us.
Whoops.
That was you, not me, right?
Yeah, that was me. That was me. I'm pressing buttons and I accidentally hit the wrong one.
Yeah, you and your buttons. Can you
I
get
know.
things right? You should be like me, always perfect with technology. Well, no, maybe not really. No, don't be like me.
I mean, you know, if I'm gonna be DMing someday, I have to learn how to hit the wrong buttons every now and then, right?
Well, no doubt. I mean, it's a crapshoot sometimes, for sure.
Yep. Let's figure out how.
Thank you so much. Hey Steve, good to see you, sir. Welcome, Blood Wild. And Josh, Iculus, we appreciate all your support. City Guard of Hebron, Mystical Mandy, God, just all these great viewers. We appreciate you so much. We have a lot of good stuff coming for you here in the coming weeks. I'll tell you, Josh, like Blood Wild is on fire because Steve helped us get the Mantic Games relationship set up. He is communicating with me almost every single day. He is fantastic, but I'll let him answer. No, I feel the same. I think GaryCon is going to be huge for us. We have 3 actual streams plus an LMA stream and then also the roundtable. It's going to be a great, great time for us. All right, here we go. And we are going to go live Video, you ready, Evelyn?
1 sec, sorry.
Take your time, take your time. Hey, Shop Hunter. I've had many paladins, but I have a special paladin who is near to my heart I'll talk about tonight.
All right, I'm good now. Sorry.
No worries. All right, here we go. And we are live. Welcome everyone to Blue Box LMA number 28, titled The Greatest Class of All Time, Paladins. And we are so excited. I'm joined as always by the amazing Evelyn, who plays Millie, Irda, and who am I forgetting? Marthaliel, of course, we haven't played that in a while. And good to have you with us tonight. And we're going to be talking about Paladins, my favorite class of all time. I've played so many Paladins, and we are excited to have all of you with us. Man, what a great night last night. Jay, our friend, Lord Gazumba. It was a great stream, I thought. Had a good time last night. Oh, hey, Jay, good to see you with us. Robert, good to see you in here as well. And all of you, thanks for joining us, talking about the greatest class ever. All right, so Evelyn.
Yes.
Before we jump into this, give us all your socials, your creds, and talk a little bit about what you're working on, so I want everyone to know who you are.
All right, so hi everybody, I'm Evelyn. I am the partner in Blueboxrpg. I'm also on all of the streams. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Theater Evie. So yeah, hi. And then I also am doing a podcast with Terry, who plays Sherwin, on Greyhawk Awakening. Brain. Woo. But on Greyhawk Awakening, we are doing a podcast about World of Warcraft, and we've talked a couple times about D&D, but we haven't done one of those in a bit. So, but yeah, so it's a lot of fun. We do that every Monday, as of now, and so you can actually find that podcast on Spotify. It's called Two Torrent Tables, and it's pretty fun if you like World of Warcraft. So yeah.
And I've been wanting to get in there, but I haven't had time yet. But I think it's a lot of fun, and thanks for doing all that. And Iculus, absolutely, Josh, my friend. I thought the stream went well last night. I think in particular, Jay and we played well off each other. I didn't think it was at all awkward, and we had good moments, and the role play from the players was fantastic. So we may see that happen again, maybe me on Jay's channel, Jay on my channel, but we're going to keep collaborating. It's all about spreading the love of old school gaming. It was fun, Jay. Thank you. You've never played a Paladin, Shav Hunter. Wow. Okay, well, this is my favorite class. And, oh, hey, Satcha Scorn. Thank you, Bill, for resubbing. We appreciate that. And as always, all the support, it means a lot to us. Okay, Paladins. Evelyn, I've got lots of articles. I've got, I think, 3 or 4 Dragon Mags. I've got the original 1E Player's Handbook. Digitally, I've got the original 1E DM's guide up. I've got way too much content to cover tonight. So that's why we're calling this part 1. It's probably going to be 2 or I think 3 or maybe even 4 sessions talking about Paladins. But I'd really like to get your take on this topic before I start pontificating and bloviating as I am wont to do. So, Evelyn, tell me what you think about Paladins.
Well, I'm actually very new to kind of dabbling in the world of Paladins. Irda actually is a level 2 Paladin. She picked up the multi-class recently, so I've been learning a little bit about it as I go. They should always be lawful good. That's just the facts. I can't argue with that.
Just
or
facts.
Lawful evil if they're anti-paladin, but an actual everyday paladin. That's an awful good character. Facts. And then yeah, so they're holy warriors. They have a deity that they make a pact with basically, and they get their what magic abilities they have from their deities. They're kind of a hybrid of a fighter and kind of almost like a little bit clericy, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But they're more charisma based, and then like a cleric is. And so yeah, they're really fun to play so far. I really like it.
No, it's well played. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much. And I'll tell you. So let me start out with a couple of points. One, this was one of my main criticisms of 5e, and I won't harp on this point because I don't want to make this a major issue tonight. But this idea that paladins can be any alignment, dumb as a box of rocks.
No.
No. If you have so your paladins are two alignments: lawful good or lawful evil, which is an anti-paladin. Lawful is a critical component of the paladin because they hold to a creed. That's the whole idea of a paladin. And you can't have a chaotic paladin. That's not holding to a creed. That is, it blows my mind that we have this sort of growing neutral or chaotic paladin. No, you can be good or evil, an anti-paladin or paladin, but you must be lawful to hold either one of those classes. So, your comments, Evelyn?
I mean that I feel the same way. I mean, how it doesn't make sense. Like, how do you have a paladin who isn't lawful? I mean, that's just basically a cleric that fights a little more and is a little more charismatic than. I mean, otherwise, like, what? I don't know. I have a lot of feelings about it, and I'm going to end up rambling if I keep going on. So yeah.
No, but you're entertaining when you ramble, so you're fine. All right. So look, I think that's kind of point one. You have with paladins either true lawful good, a paladin, or lawful evil, anti-paladin. No other alignments should be allowed. All right. Secondly, creeds, divine spellcasting, lay on hands, mounts, smite, mounts, spite. There's so much fun stuff that happens with paladins. This is my favorite class. So, you see the original player's handbook here. Maybe some of the greatest artwork ever for D&D. This player's handbook is so gorgeous. And we got the DM's guide ready to go. We got all of this stuff, but I just think this is so cool with the player's handbook. Now, oh, Anna, good to see Anna B. Meyer. Bobcat, welcome. Ali B, Mikey, Moose, oh my gosh, I didn't see all of you jump in. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. The player's handbook, this gorgeous artwork, this thieves pry the gem out of the demon's eye. And then you have, of course, the original DM's guide. And I have both of these here. I have the original DM's guide in hard copy. I have the original player's handbook in hard copy. And I've got all kinds of paladin type stuff ready to go tonight. But we're going to start, not with the guides, we're going to start tonight with the Dragon Mag articles. And so we have first up, Dragon Mag 39. This is 1980. Are you guys ready? You ready, Evelyn?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's go. Here we go. So much fun stuff. I'm going to scroll through these. The artwork is gorgeous. This is 1980. But before we jump into the actual content, let me skip all the raw part of the stuff. Again, I always point this out. Look, July 1980, Iron Crown Enterprises, the makers of Middle-earth role-playing, MERP, ICE, gorgeous stuff. This is one of their better ads. And if you're not on the Anon Archive, you should be. Check this stuff out. There is so much gorgeous content in these mags. But let me scroll down and show you some really fun stuff right here. So the early Dragon Mags had, and this has got nothing to do with Paladin, just the sort of me going on my Gen X journey. They had so many of these articles on the role of computers, and they would say the ROLL of computers. But this is the first, and Evelyn, you can see this on the screen here. My very first computer, Asher, you got it. It is one of the top 10, Jay, you're right. One of my first PC was a what?
TRS-80?
Which was made by who?
No idea.
Who could? Radio Shack, Moose, Moose, you got it exactly. It was
That's what TRS is, Radio Shack.
It was so crazy. Radio Shack made computers. No one knows that today. I had an old Xerox machine because my mom worked for Xerox at the time, and those suckers had 8-inch floppies. If you've never seen an 8-inch floppy, you don't know why they were truly called floppies.
They were floppy.
they were floppy as floppy guy. Exactly.
3-inch ones, they still call 3.5-inch ones. They still call them floppies, but they were not floppy.
It was a trash 80, that's right. Oh my gosh, I love my chatters. You guys are awesome. So I was an 11-year-old kid. I had my Radio Shack TRS-80 PC, and the maximum file size, it's all kind of laid out here. It was 16 kilobytes. Now I don't think it's the expansion. No, I did not have floppy disks on my TRS-80. So I've talked about this before. My TRS-80, nothing to do with Paladins, except I guess maybe being the original sort of champion of this stuff. You loaded your programs and stored your programs with what? It was before floppies.
Tapes.
Cassettes. Tape drives. Yes, I had a literal tape drive. The red record, the black play. You would record that using the baud audio stuff, and we've talked about this before on LMA, but it was just so fun for me to see this in Dragon Mag 39. TRS-80 PC, this was the original stuff for computers. Now, we're not done. Yes, you got Iron Crown Enterprises, you've got TRS-80, but wait, there's more. Why no RuneQuest? I love this, dear editor. Why is although you claim the Dragon magazine is impartial, you've published articles, the Third Reich, other things beside D&D. You don't publish articles on the Chaosium's RuneQuest. Is it because you're trying to cover up the fact it's a RuneQuest, is an ultimate FRP game? And there's a great response here that came from the Dragon magazine folks. I'm not going to go through all this for sake of time tonight, but if you are not going, this is just fun to read. Go back, go to the Anon archive, pull these Dragon magazines down. There is so much fun stuff to read. RuneQuest, by the way, it was a great system. Very complex, but a lot of fun. Did anyone on the chat play RuneQuest? And while we're waiting for that response, yeah, when you actually mail a letter, exactly. Now, wait. You think we're done? We're not done. We haven't gotten to the Paladin stuff yet, but look at this. 1980. What's this an article for, or an ad for, Evelyn? Well, look at what you see around the sides.
Greyhawk folio.
Yes, exactly, the fantasy world of Greyhawk. We're looking like old school stuff from the 80s and the original fantasy world of Greyhawk, all the heraldry, which our friend Jay Scott has really advanced so much. We saw that last night on our Greyhawk Awakening stream. Yep, it is complex. You're right, Moose. But even like the MERP stuff, the Iron Crown Enterprises Middle-earth role-playing, that stuff was kind of complex too, but it's fun, and if you dive into it, it's a great thing. So let's skip forward. So many fun things, all the illustrations. You guys should definitely check this stuff out, but this is Dragon Mag 39, and when you search for Dragon Magazine Paladins, you'll get a lot of this, and what is it, Evelyn?
The anti-Paladin.
Exactly. So yeah, MERP was based on RuneQuest. You're right. So a lot of this will be, hey, does good have you down? So by 1980, you got several years of the chainmail system and the AD&D and the basic D&D and the expert D&D and all of that. And so Paladins were such a huge part of it. And now you start to see some of this sort of counterculture. We want the really nasty evil guy to play, so we're not constrained, which I respect. I love that. And so evil anti-Paladins, a big thing. You can find this in Dragon Mag 39. Check it out. It is so fun. We're not diving into that tonight because that's not our topic. We're talking about the actual Paladins. Hey, Roger! Good to see you. All right. Next Dragon Mag will be 310. But before we jump into that, we're going to go back to the original source, the Player's Handbook. So, 1E Player's Handbook. We jump to Paladin, and I'm going to zoom this in, and let's walk through these. So, first of all, no good alignment in the Expert Edition. What? Okay, Steve, I'm going to have to check you on that. You're probably right, because you wouldn't have said it if you weren't, but that's not consistent with my knowledge. But again, as I was a kid in the 1970s, late 70s, 78, 79, I never had this DM's guide. As a kid, I couldn't afford it. My parents didn't get it for me, but I did have this player's handbook, and I had the red box and the blue box. So I kind of had this amalgamation of systems, which may mean I wasn't exactly right. But the Paladin in the original player's handbook, and the first note here is a Paladin must begin as a lawful good alignment. Mm-hmm. So this goes back to the sort of challenge I have to, whoops, what have I just done? I have highlighted everything. Didn't mean to do that, but you have the original player's handbook says a Paladin must be lawful good. Now, to you, Evelyn. Hey, thank you so much, everybody. All right, Evelyn, what does lawful good mean?
Well, first of all, lawful, you follow a strict code, or you are, you follow the laws, whatever that may be. And good is that's a very difficult question, but you do the right thing and you don't, intentionally seek to harm people, and anything, really. You don't intentionally seek to do cruel things or bad things. You don't steal from people, things like that, I guess. But that falls into lawful as well, because that would be breaking the law. So. Yeah,
no, you're right. So like a lawful neutral, which was popped up here by, let me see here, the chat's going so fast. So Thial Sidorian, lawful neutral. To me, that's not a paladin. That's a what? Do you have any idea, Evelyn, what you would make a lawful neutral character? To me, it's a very clear thing from books and AD&D and D&D. Someone who is totally focused on law, but no sense of respect for good and evil. What should that be? A bureaucrat's a good guess, Mikey. No, monk could be lawful neutral, but there is a class that to me is the quintessential lawful neutral. No one's hit it in my chat yet, and this is not like canon. This is my opinion. It's like, what should a lawful neutral character be if you're thinking on the fighter lines, semi-fighter, paladin, Justicar? Oh, you're right there. Inquisitor. Inquisitor, Justicars, exactly. So something that is a character that's so focused on law and has no care for good and evil, that's not a paladin. That's a Justicar, that's an Inquisitor, really well done on our chat. So, they must be lawful good, and you've got the original sort of stats here. Now, let's scroll over to the right-hand side, and many other things in the original Player's Handbook. And look, I don't care what edition you play, this stuff is helpful to you. You can use this in any edition. You've got all of these different requirements here. So, law and good. These deeds are the meat and drink of paladins, be they female or male, doesn't matter. Law and good are the meat and drink. Yeah, well, so 1E, are they chaotic evil? Is that right? So I don't play that way. Is Cold Steel Penguin right? Because I've never played that way. Because to me, law is the central thing of a paladin. So if you're an anti-paladin, you are lawful. But you're holding to the laws of the nethers. You know, of the evil side. You're not holding to the laws of man. They are CE. Yes. Okay. So I'm wrong, but that's not how I play them. So you can't play a chaotic evil in my campaign. A paladin must be lawful evil. You're adhering to stricture, to law. If you're following a demon or a devil, you're following their strictures. And so a paladin or anti-paladin must be lawful good or lawful evil in my campaigns. Now that's just sort of a DM preference, and yes, but to me, Robert, diametric is not law and chaos; it's good and evil. So if I am lawful good or lawful neutral with the Inquisitor or Justicar, or lawful evil with the anti-paladin, I'm holding to a stricture.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just my opinion. Yeah, you can do it. Look, it's D&D. Do what you like. But, all right, so you've got this quote here. If a paladin should ever knowingly and willingly perform an evil act, or let's go anti-paladin, if an anti-paladin should ever knowingly and willingly perform a good act, they lose the status of paladinhood immediately and irrevocably, or a fallen paladin. And I think you could have a fallen anti-paladin. So we've done that actually with one of our games.
Yep.
So Evelyn, go ahead.
That's a Wraithy.
Yep.
She is a fallen paladin.
Yeah, exactly. And so Wraithy was part of our Rune Lords campaign, and she fell. And she's now an anti-paladin. So redemption, that's a great sort of a fun thing to think about with paladins. But original 1E paladins could detect evil at a 60-foot distance. That's very powerful. They can make all saving throws at +2. Immunity to all disease. So, you just look through these. Lay on hands, cure disease. All of this means a paladin is an intrinsically powerful character. So, my core thought on this is there must be then strong DM stricture. So Jay said his main character in Tim's campaign is Dervila, a fallen paladin, now a cavalier. All right, so we have Shorewin, who is going the opposite route. He was a cavalier, and he's actually, I don't want to say too much, but yeah, he's kind of moving this direction, I'll just say that. But this idea that Robert said, hang on, so from Dragon 39, an NPC that anti-paladin rips everything that is mean, low, and despicable. No act treachery is too debased. No deed of violence too vile. Thoughtless cruelty, sheer depravity, senseless bloodshed, hallmarks, chaotic and evil deeds are in fact the lifeblood. All right, so I like that. And look, again, I'm not arguing with any of you, that you can do what you like. For me, to be a paladin or an anti-paladin, the core tenet is lawfulness. You're holding to a code. And then you're good or evil, but I like what you got there, and you guys run this how you want to. This is just sort of DM, John, Neuromancer, Blue Box sort of opinion. It's kind of like dinosaurs. I can't stand them in my games. Flintlock guns and gunpowder. No, I know they're canon. These are just my opinions, and if you think I suck and you want to watch somebody else, I get it. I do, but I hope you love what we're doing here on Blue Box because it's a lot of fun. Yes, exactly, Robert. All right, so paladins, this idea that they have great powers mounts. So let's pull this up here. DM Guide, original 1E. I think it's page 17. Boom. They have not only spells, powers, lay on hands, cleric abilities. When you get to 3.5 and something, you got incredible powers, smite evil. But even in 1E, you have the Warhorse. No gunpowder, Anna. Thank you. Love you. No Dino Paladins. No gunpowder. None of that. No Thrommel. No vampire Thrommels. Exactly. All right. So the Paladin's Warhorse. Let me make this bigger so everyone can read it. Here. Whoops. Don't mind that sort of stupid thing I did there. So, the Paladin's Warhorse at 4th level in 1E, they will call for a Warhorse. As a rule of thumb, this journey will not be beyond 7 days. So the idea is not, it doesn't just appear, it's part of the campaign.
Right.
What a great way to run this. Now, with GHA, of course, Shorewind already has Winston.
It has a horse.
So if he does go Paladin route from his Cavalier class, then we'll have to figure out how we run that. But in general, this journey is it's a great thing you can role play, right? So how does your Paladin get his mount, whatever it might be? And you got different systems and different classes and different editions, but I'm probably not down to classes, but editions. And it's fun to see how that can work out. If the character loses Paladinhood, as we talked about with Arathi, for any reason, there is now an immutable enmity between the character and the mount. Whoa, that's huge. So now, if that steed or that mount is part of a paladin who becomes evil and falls, it is now an immutable enemy.
Oh, that's not good. Not good.
Oh, that is not good.
I don't
at
want
all.
Shadow Mist getting mad at me. I better be on my best behavior.
you absolutely must be. Yes, exactly. So you now, as an Azamar that has moved from your initial class to Paladin, this is all part of what you're doing. All right, now I want to dive deeply into Dragon Magazine. Thank you. Hey, Cold Steel Penguin. Yes, again, Josh, Anna, Iculus, all of you. Dragon Mag 310. Now, this is further than I normally go. This is a pretty advanced article. This is from 2003. So you're multiple editions in now. We're not 1E anymore here in Dragon Mag 3. But there is a great article in here around Paladins. And look at this artwork. Is that not gorgeous? So Dragon Mag 310. Yes, exactly. It's a creature of the divine, Robert. So this is all about champions of the divine, paladins, and of other alignments. So you had this start moving in different directions. So they have the paladin as lawful good, the sentinel neutral good, avenger chaotic good, enforcer lawful neutral, incarnate neutral, anarch chaotic neutral. I don't like this. But if you want to do this, to me, don't make them paladins. These are subclasses of fighters or cavaliers or even clerics. I like holding the paladins to those very strict rules. Now, 110 is where, yeah, exactly, Stygian Templar. Pretty much for me too. Like I've got, I think 63 is my oldest physical article or magazine here, and like 110, 120 is my newest. So all this stuff, I have a lot of those Dragon Mags here on the original hard copy, but the digital stuff, yeah, I didn't really do a lot of that.
Right.
So I like holding to the old school stuff, and these guys and the Dragon Mags, Unearthed Arcana, all of this is a great place to get all of your lore for Paladins. Okay, now, let me talk for a moment about my favorite. I consider him an alter ego. You've never heard this name before on our stream. This is my mini. One of the first minis I painted 10 years ago after I sort of joined the D&D stuff. This is Mandaralin. And Mandaralin is my alter ego. I started playing this guy when I was, I think, 16, 15. And he is a true lawful good paladin who drinks milk at every tavern, who honors every part of chivalry, and his fatal flaw is pride. He is a prideful individual, but he struggles with that, and I think that's a good way to run a paladin. So, Theolacidorian said, agreed, paladins are special, should not be, exactly, don't conflate them with other specialized classes. They're so hot. Exactly. And Asher, you don't like the other alignments, knights. Yeah, I agree with that. So, here is the main thing I wanted to convey tonight. If you're a DM or a player, paladins, especially with what I run, which is 3.5, and I'll pull that up here on the screen so everyone can see. 3.5, you've got very powerful spells, and smite gets better. So this is your 3.5. Let me kill the Hertz articles and all this stuff here, all these ads. Through a select, worthy shines of power and the divine, called paladins. These noble souls dedicate their swords and their lives to battle against evil. Knights, crusaders, lawbringers, paladins seek not just to spread divine justice, but to embody the teachings of virtuous deities they serve. In pursuit of these lofty goals, they adhere to ironclad laws of morality and discipline, and they have incredible power. So in my campaigns, paladins are very, very powerful. But Evelyn, what do you think that carries with it?
A lot of responsibility. I mean, you have to not abuse the power that you get.
So,
you know.
So, like, from your perspective, you see me do it a little bit, but like, even you as an aspiring DM, you've got your own work. What does that mean? Like, I've got codexes. We're going to do part 2, part 3 of this. We're going to go deep into paladins. But if you have smite evil, lay on hands, you have this incredible charisma, persuasion, you are a powerful character in the campaign. How do you balance that? And this to me is what I don't like, again, part 2 of what I don't like about 5e. They've tried to nerf everything and make every class equal. I don't care if one of my classes is overpowered, because as a DM, I will balance it with the requisite, responsibilities. So how do you think a paladin can be balanced if they're powerful, smite evil, lay on hands, persuasion, diplomacy, charisma? How can you balance that paladin in a campaign?
Well, I mean, like, I feel like 3.5 alone kind of does a good job of like balancing certain abilities by limiting them to like right now I can only smite once per day. So I have to choose wisely who I'm going to choose to smite. And like lay on hands and things like that are limited to certain numbers of uses per day, so that you don't have unlimited amounts of just superpower. So that's one of the things I would say helps to balance that quite a bit.
Yeah, well said. And so in the chat, we have Steve saying, kits from the Paladin. Yes, we're going to talk about that. So on part 2 of this, we're going to go into kits. I've got all kinds of third-party materials. There is so much out there about the Paladin. So we're going to dive into that more deeply in future sessions. Yes, you're right, Cold Seal Penguin. Pride was Lucifer's downfall. Exactly right. A servant of the god. Yes, Robert, they are always a servant of their gods. They should be. And even if they're evil, if they're a lawful evil, they should be following the law of their evil god. That's why I make paladins or anti-paladins in my world's lawful evil. Well, no, that's right, Loot Die Repeat. It is tough to balance things, and that really requires good DMing. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I see a lot of great DMs out there and a lot of great DMs on Twitch. But to me, running, I don't let new players create paladins. If you've never played before, if you're brand new to the game, you cannot run a paladin in my campaign. Not because I'm elitist, but because it is such a powerful class. I will give them, they are the sort of ultimate good in a campaign. I will give them great power, but with great power comes great responsibility, as Evelyn said earlier. So, if you're brand new to the game, and okay, I'm gonna put it on the reel here. Everybody ready for this, Evelyn? This is raw.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
The first paladin played in one of my campaigns was played by my wife. And this was long before we were streaming. This was our home campaign. And she did not know how to run a paladin. She failed and she fell. And I pulled her paladin hood from her. Now, you think you're a good DM? Have the chutzpah, the cojones, to take your wife and fail her, or your husband if you're a woman, and fail him and put them as a fallen paladin. I did that several years ago.
I've seen how she gets about Cade sometimes when Cade's on the brink of death, so I have a feeling that that's not gonna work.
Exactly. It's like, though she did as well as she could, but she did not. She was new to the game, and she did not know how to run a paladin, and so she fell.
It's a fine line. Like it's a really careful like even I'm having a tough time with it, and you just have to be very mindful when you play a paladin.
Exactly, and so that to me, that's the counterbalance. They get great power. I don't mind making the paladin the most powerful member of a party, but I am going to hold them to such strong stricture. You have to mind your P's and Q's. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you do. If there's someone in danger and you're looting bodies while they're in danger, if you're failing, if you lie, if you tell a white lie, you do anything which is counter to paladinhood, you suffer the consequence in my campaigns. You must hold. So if Terry, the player of Shorewind, wants to be a paladin, and I think he's probably ready for it because he does such a good job. But he's got to understand the requirements and the strictures are very, very solid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so on the chat we have no monks. Hey, thank you, T. Roberts. We appreciate that, Thomas. By the way, if you're watching tonight, if you've not followed us yet, we have one question for you.
What are you doing?
Give us a follow, give us a sub. We appreciate all of our viewers, Moose, all of you, monks forever. All right, Phantom Robert said, are your paladins allowed to lie to an evil being? Great question. So, my answer is yes. If you have a situation where the deceit is against a lawful evil or neutral evil or chaotic evil character, then I think deceit in the name of good is allowable for paladins. I don't feel that's contrary to the lawful standard for them. Anyone else disagree? Subs, not dubs. I do like monks, Moose. Monks are fun characters. I've got a couple monks in my campaigns. Yeah, you agree with me, Robert. Thank you. Cold Seal Penguin said, I think paladins are the warrior monks in the Western culture. I think that's fair. Templars, warrior monks, this is what they're all about. But as a DM, if I have a paladin Yes, Bobcat, exactly. If I have a paladin, I give them great power and great responsibility. Loot Die Repeat. Oh, Anna B. Meyer, thank you so much. I'm glad you agree. That means a lot to me. You are a canon source for us in the new stuff that we're doing here. And again, I'm so excited about your new Greyhawk maps, the interactive maps, the three-dimensional stuff, the drill downs. It's incredible what Anna is doing. If you're not following, can we pop her Patreon in the chat? Do you have that link, Evelyn? Let's pop Anna's.
It's just our Anna command.
Yes, Anna is, she is like, if anyone on this chat doesn't follow her on our Patreon, you should. She is absolutely awesome. She and Carlos of Castle Entertainment, to me, have the two best Patreons in all of old school D&D. All right, so, no, I don't let my Paladins multi-class either, generally, Robert, but if you take a Shorewind, who is a Cavalier, him deciding to move from Cavalier to Paladin makes perfect sense to me. So I never want...
And I did it with...
Exactly.
With
you're right, you had an
Paladin.
Azamar who, so I think, allowing that class switch when it makes sense, for me at least as a DM, I like doing that. It's a fun thing because it makes sense, and that's their sort of organic switch from a sort of semi-good to holiness because of something that happens in their lives, whether it's the death of a Solomon in your case, or for Shorewind, it's all that's happened with his sister and Ashrin and what Ashrin sacrificed. These create great roleplay moments for players that weren't Paladins to move to Paladin. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and Irda's wasn't Solomon's death; it was Ixen turning evil.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
Betraying the party.
Yeah.
Because the further he pushed towards the darkness, the further she pushed towards the light. So.
So so with that, we're gonna kind of wrap up here. I'm gonna raid Jay in a second. So everyone, stay with us, and we love Jay, Lord Gazumba, our friend. Before we raid there, talk to us more about this decision you've made to take a character that was not a Paladin and switch to Paladin.
Well, so it kind of started off. So, alignment-wise, Irda actually started off chaotic good. She was good, but she had her own set of specific things that she felt were right and wrong. She didn't have a specific code necessarily that she lived by, but she definitely had things that she knew, this is the right thing to do, this is the wrong thing to do. And through the actions of Ixen, she developed a very much more strong sense of what was right and wrong. And one of the things that actually helped her with her connection to her deity, she is a paladin of Sarenrae. She had, along the way, kind of in her backstory, she had encountered clerics of Sarenrae in the past. And one of the things we actually found in the temple, when we went to Thistletop, she actually found the holy symbol of Sarenrae. And that was the very first time she prayed to anyone, and it was because she was seeking help not for herself necessarily, but for her companions, and just asking Sarenrae to look out for her siblings, who she's found one of and is still looking for the others. But that was her first moment to make that connection, and that started off way back then. And from that point on, when she got back to a town where there was a temple to Sarenrae, she returned that holy symbol to the clerics, and then from then on, her relationship became deeper and deeper and deeper as she kind of developed her code, began trying to follow Sarenrae's, what her beliefs are, before finally actually officially taking the pact. the moment after Ixen actually betrayed the party
Right.
at Fort Rannoch, that night after that had happened, and I talked to John ahead of time about this, but I had told him that, you know, I had seen her going in that direction, and, you know, was it okay, first of all, if I did that, and secondly, so that when that happened, that night in game time, within the tiny hut, she actually made that official pact with Sarenrae.
No, exactly. And I think that's such a fun and authentic, well done part of roleplay. So Evelyn, bravo to you. I love that. And it's so fun because in 2 of my campaigns, we have paladins which are emerging from other classes. And to me, it makes sense. And if you're in your games, you want to keep that sort of restricted. You have to start as a paladin. I totally respect that. I get it. But to me, the idea that a good character who starts as a fighter or a cavalier or some other class, and then through circumstance, you know, really connects with their god and evolves to something beyond just good, but lawful good, and aligning with their deity, and becomes a paladin. I think that is it's a fun, organic way to make this, to me, again, the greatest class of all time in D&D. So much fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the chat's really good. We're going to raid Jay. Don't leave us here. We're going to do this in just a second, but I want to talk about some of these comments. So, Thomas, yes, I want to talk to you about this. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Moose had that Dragon magazine. Sorry you don't have it anymore, but I don't think that Jay has terrible terrain, as said by Bill. Bill Satchers, or I think it's, I've been mispronouncing this, so it's Sasharscorn, I think is the way it's pronounced. Bill, the Master Crafter, I would like you to reach out to Evelyn and recruit her to be my Master Crafter. I've been saying this many times. But Jay has gorgeous terrain, and you are largely to thank, my friend. No, Jay does not need to buy more terrain and minis. Josh, he's got plenty of them. And let's see, retro, burning them up, yes, Iculus. All right, so we're going to have, I'm going to call it right now, 2 more sessions on Paladins. And we won't do this next week. We'll kind of mix it up and break it out. I've got some guidebooks, the Creed, what you really hold your Paladin to, the options of different sort of subclasses for Paladins, which are, I think, a lot of fun. And then we will do one on anti-Paladins. Thank you, Asher. We appreciate that. Our friend, oh, Robert gave that gift sub. Thank you, Robert. And all in all, Paladins, am I right? The best class ever. Come on. Can you pop up a poll? No dinosaur Paladins. Our Paladins.
No dinosaur Paladins.
No dinosaur. Josh. Our Paladins, the best class ever in D&D. We want 3 options. Hell yes, yes, or no. Let's see what we get as we prep to raid our friend Lord Gasumba. Thanks, everybody. Give us a follow or a sub if you have not yet. And, oh, don't forget, so we'll be back live on Sunday with our Rune Lords campaign. Great fun. Next week, our normal Greyhawk Awakening. But February 19th, Jay's Underdark Uprising. We have a great session happening on Underdark Uprising. The poll's up, you choose. And then in March, oh my gosh, Gary Con! Woo! We have on Blue Box 3 full streams, plus an LMA style stream, plus I'll be on a DM roundtable, 5 sessions on GaryCon. We are going to have a great time, and it is all thanks to you, our viewers. You have given us a platform, credibility, the fact that so many of you join us, watch us, follow us, sub us. It makes people want to see what we're doing here on Blue Box, and I am grateful to all of you. It is going to be a great start to the new year. All right. Are Paladins the best class ever in D&D? Oh my gosh, this is not going the way I wanted. I have not all right, so did I mention, if you say no, you're banned from our channels, from our No, I'm just kidding. No. All right, so if you say no, pop in the chat what you think the greatest class is ever in D&D.
Yeah, I would like to know.
So
What
Steve
are
said the
everybody's
Thief
favorite classes?
Acrobat. I like that. But they're not the best. Celtic Boar
Don't quit,
said.
Iculus.
Oh no, Iculus, don't do that to us, Josh. Wizards, monks. Okay, monks. Okay, rangers. Of course, Ranger Harley says rangers.
See, I have a soft spot for clerics too. I love clerics.
I love commoners. That's awesome. Josh, I can't read what you wrote. Zerathon, that makes no sense to me. I don't know what that is. So we got wizards, monks, rangers. That's awesome. Oh, no is at 70%. So that means only 3 of 10, 30% agree with me. All right. So, loot die repeat. Sorcerers, yes, charisma-based spellcasting, that's fun. That's 3.5, 3E stuff. Yes, all right. So, I'm going to convince you. The next 2 sessions we do about Paladins will be me trying to persuade all of my amazing viewers why Paladins are the best class of all time. And with that said, we're going to refresh here and get our raid ready. Is Jay up yet? I don't see it. Let me refresh.
I see him.
Okay,
I see
hang on.
Loremaster. He's got 9 right now.
Let me try one more time here. Raid. There he is. We're raiding our friend Jay Lord Gazumba. Thank you, everyone. Pop back with us on Sunday and stay tuned. I will persuade you Paladins are the best class ever. And we're rating Jay. He's got I think 9, 10.
Right.
We've got 29 popping in. Moose, Celtic, Iculus, Loot Die, Zerathanon, all of you, Bobcat. We so much appreciate you being with us tonight, and we are rating Jay now. Boom.
All right.